The man dropped the candy in his hand. Absent-mindedly, he picked it up and shoved it into the driver's mouth, all because he was the head of the North Korean security department. His power was so absolute that he could rule the country with an iron fist, and very few dared defy him. When the driver, a sergeant, was asked what his plans were after retirement,
고민 없습니다. 당이 정해준 곳에서 인민을 위해 열심히 일할 생각입니다. 내가 그래서 네 뭐 하는 거야? 주어진 운명을 받아들일 줄 안다는 말이지.
a storm warning played in the background. The sergeant knew his time was running out. He had to escape North Korea today. The two of them drove to the banquet hall. Inside, it was filled with North Korea's most powerful elites. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that this room alone held the people who controlled the entire country. As a lowly sergeant, he could only stand in the distance. In a fleeting moment, the department head glanced over and spotted him. He almost didn't notice the woman by his side. Time passed slowly, and the sergeant was getting more anxious by the second. Like an ant on a hot plate, he was desperate. Then, unexpectedly, his name was called from the stage. He was hailed as a hero for catching a deserter, but only he knew the truth. He was the one planning to defect. Yet, instead of punishment, he had been promoted. Now, he was the assistant to the regiment commander, a position he couldn't accept. He couldn't stand the idea of others deciding his fate. That's why he had to escape from North Korea. The rules of this world were different, and everyone's path was predetermined from birth. He needed to get to South Korea to pursue his own dreams. After completing his onboarding paperwork, he used a knife to cut out his photograph and, while distracting the staff, stole the necessary travel pass. The final step required the commander's stamp. Now all that was left was to run as fast as he could. But just as he thought he might be caught, a guard nearby spotted him. It seemed like another dead end. The sergeant walked up to him and struck up a conversation.
예? 불시 점검 나왔어.
조서 근무 좀 못하는다.
그래? 경계 대세가 참으로 탁월하구만. 쌍용 줘보라.
The mountains were heavily guarded, and the only way out was through the front gate. That's when he came up with a brilliant plan. Carefully, he moved from car to car, trying to find one with an unlocked door. Finally, he found one. The next step was to locate a drunk officer to use as his cover to pass through the gate. The closer he got to freedom, the faster his heart raced. A large hand was raised as the guard inspected them. Seeing that the officer was with him, the guard let them through. When the officer finally woke up, he found himself abandoned in the middle of nowhere. Everything seemed to be going smoothly, but the real danger was just beginning. This movie is called Escape. If you're interested, you should check out the full film.